So I'm really not really happy with this Just Stop Oil Art auction. It really mainly revolves around the girl who's been in all the actions, particularly mainly featuring one photo where they threw, like orange colour all over the painting in the museum. So she's the main character that it revolves around. So, and now someone's actually done like a Mona Lisa version of her, which is the central piece really around this whole exhibition. It's exhibit number 3 here, which somebody's actually finally bid on it. There's only 14 hours, 41 minutes and 4 seconds left at the moment on this auction. So it was for about 2 weeks. And it started off, when we all entered it, it was called No Art on a Dead Planet. That was the project brief, No Art on a Dead Planet. And they wanted artwork you'd done if you'd been arrested or while you were under arrest or anything like that to do with actions, political actions and things like that. So, like if you'd scribbled on like on a wall maybe while you're under arrest, or on a bit of notepad or paper or things like that, or any memorabilia of when you've been involved in protests or arrests and things like that. So that's what I thought that's what the project brief sort of was. It ended up being this made it sound like that they were going to have an art exhibition and put all our things there and auction them all off. But it turned out that the art exhibition only ended up being for 2 days. One of the days it was celebrity invite only. I think Chris Packham was there. And then the other day, the Saturday, was meant to be anyone could go. I've seen some photographs that someone sent me from there, actually. I probably could show those. I actually made more... I really wanted to do something, like be proactive, so I couldn't get there, but I made some things and sent them there in a box, some Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil artwork, and I thought, these like nice little pieces, some just quite a lot of small little nice pieces that were quite decent that they could have given away or on the day or whatever, or just put in a box near the door and let people pick them up and take them out, or even whether they'd want to auction them off. But no one would accept it, or they couldn't find this Coppolex Centre on the Friday or the Thursday, and then the Saturday they didn't even attempt to deliver it because apparently the Coppolex Centre was told now Royal Mail say they won't even attempt deliveries on Saturdays, so they won't even attempt to deliver it on certain days of the week, which is ridiculous. If you're sending things and paying for the postage, that's just ridiculous now with Royal Mail. The world's just getting so ridiculous. It's just unbelievable. So restrictive on everything. And then after I bought the postage online, they haven't even delivered it back to me. It got sent to Ireland. Why enter all your details on an online form when it doesn't get saved to any system anywhere? It just seems ridiculously stupid. So anyway, that was a waste of time. But anyway... So these are the actual exhibits that are in there. And there's actually... So, I guess I'll just show you how many there are. Currently, at the moment, it only goes up to 128. Although it goes 91, 92, 93, 94, 109, 128. A lot of them have been removed. Now, I was lucky enough to speak to a lady who entered... And she said there were a lot more pieces entered, because I only saw it about 1 day or 2 days after it had gone up, because I didn't even know that it was being on this website, because we weren't really getting contacted through emails at all. And that's really what I want to talk about. The way that my whole video basically is not actually about this exhibition, but the way that it's been run and the way that it's been manipulated is the same kind of way that the Labour Party is manipulated in a way. if you think of all the Al Jazeera investigations into the Labour Party and how things happen in the Labour Party, you know, all these emails that are controlled, and Keir Starmer's throwing Jeremy Corbyn out, and, you know, Jason Williamson gets removed from the party, and this and that. This exhibition, so there was a lot more entries. Now, I actually managed to speak to the guy on the phone who runs this website. Now, he claims that, you know, some of the material submitted wasn't suitable for his website, which it is sort of like a fine art website. I mean, it's very, very, very fine art. You know, if you look at some of the people who are exhibiting in this, you know, it is all very. It is a fine art website, basically, but we weren't told that the criteria for this was supposed to be that it was going to be, if you can see, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 art exhibitions showing. We weren't told that it was going to be a fine art website. We were just told that basically Just Stop Oil were doing some art auctions to raise money, and they were going to have an exhibition somewhere. And when you think of it, it makes you think of all the Extinction Rebellion and Just Stop Oil actions when they're actually in the streets making things, doing things, when they turn up places with handmade things, when you see pictures of, you know, this art blockers headquarters, and they're making things here and there. Very student-y, creative, and, you know, it didn't make it sound like it was going to be a fine art exhibition. It was just going to be like a campaigners exhibition, which makes you think of it being a lot more casual and relaxed. So this guy, apparently, he removed a lot of the exhibits because they weren't suitable or they weren't photographed properly. But I think that compared to those other, I think this exhibition is so varied and completely what's interesting about it is all these artists and exhibits are completely different. It's so interesting, and actually it's a very, very, very good mix of all different types of arts, different styles. They did say that we couldn't do 3D pieces, but then people ended up doing 3D pieces. I didn't really have anywhere to photograph the images properly, but I didn't know what this exhibition, I didn't know how they were going to auction them. I thought that they might be auctioning them during Zoom meetings, some of these Zoom sort of style meetings that, you know, Gail Bradbrook or Claire take part in, and, you know, showing things on the screen and having people taking part live and putting bids in, or they might even put them up on the Extinction Rebellion website or on the Just Stop Oil Facebook page or something like that. But, you know, so we weren't really briefed properly, and then they changed the entire name of it to Art Intervention and You May Find Yourself, although the You May Find Yourself is like a Talking Heads song, you know, like you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife or whatever. Well, the music that we did for one of the projects, I used David Byrne, Burning Down the House, which I actually submitted and sent that in. So that Burning Down the House is a Talking Heads song, so I don't know if that inspired them to change it to You May Find Yourself. It's likely. So I just can't believe that. Look, they never told us that the photos had to be, you know, suitable for a fine art show. To be honest, some of the photos, the guy that I spoke to, he basically said, he was saying that, some of the photographs looked like they were, you know, like eBay Marketplace, you know, because they had people's, you know, carpets in the background or the floor or the table when they took a picture of it. But then again, we haven't all got, like, you know, an art studio where we can photograph things, you know, precisely or whatever, you know, like this here. So, I mean, we were given the impression it was quite a casual thing. To be honest, I think that because it is for Just Stop Oil, even though it's on this website and there's so many different mediums and different styles on here, I don't think it would have mattered. So I don't really know. I mean, there's even 2 cornflakes packets there, which have got absolutely nothing to do with Just Stop Oil. Someone's turned it into like a pile of, looks like a pile of Coke or something, as if it's something like Elton John might have on his wall. So, yeah, I mean... But the thing is, one of the ladies that I spoke to, this is a piece that got removed. Now, this is just a very, very nice picture of her piece. It's a very clear picture. It's not like it's got anything in the background or anything. It's not like it's been taken, on someone's sofa or Facebook Marketplace. So I don't know why this has been removed from the website, not suitable. I'm not the greatest fan of wind farms, to be honest, but this is, it reminds me of that Beastie Boys album cover, with the tree, and one side's all the, the nature, and the other side is like all the smog and the burning, It's a beautiful picture, actually. I don't know why this got removed. I don't know what cataloguing issues there were. They could have, if there were any cataloguing issues, they could have found out, what the issue was. It seems to me like it might have been some data issues or something. That's why I'm concerned about someone intervening in this, or there being some strange intervention. There's definitely nothing wrong with the background photo with this, right? It's perfectly photographed. So it can't have been removed for it being, poor photography. So he said he only removed some because of Facebook Marketplace style photography. Some of my photos that I sent in fit that description, Facebook Marketplace-ish style, because I just had to put them on the floor and take a photo. There was no criteria for this exhibition. And then I sent in from various projects. I think that some of the campaign work that I'd done and some of the campaign slogans, I think that the problem is, I don't think it's just this guy who's edited it or audited it, this guy who's got the Auction Collective. I think that because this Vince Dale guy is the guy who gives a lot of money to Just Stop Oil. And this Vince Dale guy has been part of the fundraising for it and orchestrating the celebrities. He owns energy companies. He's a big energy company owner for green energy. He's in with the Labour Party in Starmer to a certain extent. So I think some of the campaign things that I've sent in that probably won't really have rung well with Keir Starmer have been omitted. Because not all of the photographs, the photography wasn't that poor. Possibly because of this Vince Dale guy, if he's opposed to wind farms. I don't know which green energy is into, solar power or certain type of power stations or what, because I'm not really read up on Vince Dale or Dale Vince. But maybe he had this pulled, I don't know, but that seems strange. And also, I sent... the link for information about some of the entries, and they haven't put the link on to link to the website or data, and I think that's really unfair. Now, you see these first entries here, one of them is Boy George's, this number 4, and his real name's Giorgio Dowd. No one's bid on his yet, £10,000, but apparently he's been doing some art shows in... Santa Monica or wherever it was, or Monaco. The first 8 are all really, really high priced, and the majority of these are by the art blockers who are responsible for Extinction Rebellion, like the baked bean tin itself and the screen prints, and then there's a canvas and so forth. These are really well high priced. Someone's actually now bid on this Mona Lisa. Actually, she's called Harley Weir. Sorry if I didn't get her name right at the start. Someone actually now bid on that. They put the starting bid, which was $7,500. No one's actually bid on that one of Boy George's yet. And then we've got these other artists. There are quite a few people who are affiliated with Extinction Rebellion and the art blockers and the art factory for Extinction Rebellion. And then we've got these other people who are just all artists who follow Just Stop Oil, really. There's some really, really interesting people, and they've all got different backgrounds and different stories and so forth, and the art's so different. Not every single one's got bid on yet. There's something from like Insulate Britain, which is like a newspaper 3D piece there. I'm sure that was only listed at 50. It says 100 now. I'm sure that started off at 50, but it says no bids. That's kind of odd. But I just want to say that there's some really odd things going on. Firstly, this Hannah Woodhouse here, who is exhibitor number 12, she's got this Tax the Rich. It's just like, I think it's a print actually. It's Gesso ink. You see here, it just says Hannah Woodhouse is made of beautiful bronze plaster sculptures and lighting. So she's an established artist. The odd thing is that when I clicked on her website earlier, it's not working. Look, the website link doesn't work. It says the resource you are looking for has been removed, had its name changed, or is temporarily unavailable. But when you open it, it's actually going to the auction collective you may find yourself, then / Hannah Woodhouse. It's not going to Hannah Woodhouse's site. The URL is wrong. If you actually remove this bit here, and then just press go, it does take you to a website. This is Hannah Woodhouse's website, but I think it's changed. There she is. I'm sure this Hannah Woodhouse site is for some reason changed. Does look really interesting though. The other website as well. So I don't know who has changed the link. Now that Hannah's link was working because I clicked on it. Here we are. This is some of her artwork on the wall lamps and so forth, which is quite beautiful. So I can tell you that I clicked on her link a few days ago, maybe about 4 or 5 days ago, and it worked. So something has happened with this link. The link no longer works. I spoke to this guy who's got this website on the phone, and my picture wasn't straight, and he had to straighten it because the system, it was quite a high digital file, and he said it had been flipped over, which I find hard to believe. And then he said that he would correct it, which he did, but also put the link to the information about one of my pieces, right? And he hasn't put the link. So I was a bit miffed about that because it really doesn't show my picture in the best. Like, it's just a scan of it. It doesn't show all the nice textures and 3D and tell you about the piece. So I haven't actually got any bids on it. There are no actually bids on the piece, so that's a bit disappointing. It's putting us at a disadvantage. So, I don't know whether that's just down to him or what, and I don't know whether he's affiliated with this Dale guy. He seems to not really know too much about Just Stop Oil either. But I also want to know how there's someone... number 22, which is Muswat. Muswat is this painting here, which is actually, it's got a bid on it now. That was one that didn't have a bid on it, but someone's put a bid on it. This drawing here, Muswat has got their website on here. Muswat is a pen name and prefers to remain an enigma, an essence or transpersonal idea, perhaps. As a collective, we embrace radical free thinking, new age topics. Muswat is an indie author of 5 books, esoteric practicer, blogger, anti-war and eco-activist, as well as counterculture curator. So it's quite hard to get in touch with Muswat because Muswat has got a Tumblr site. I'm not a member of Tumblr. And then the rest of the contact, I think Muswat has had them. As far as I know, Muswat has had their Twitter page removed. Account suspended. So Muswat's account has been suspended. I don't know what for, if they're an activist. I thought all Twitter accounts had been put back on, you know, like George Galloway and Garland Nixon and so forth. I don't know what lengths that Muswat has gone to get their account back, but all the art is on here. I don't know why this guy at the auction site doesn't think that at this auction collective, a lot of these artworks from the auction collective, there's a lot of to be honest, I don't know why. If this Vince Dale or this this Tom guy at the art collective has somehow screened everything for appropriateness, it seems odd though, because for a start, we've looked at Hannah's and Muswat's. Exhibit number 15, this Sadie Hennessy, right, which is this rocket ship picture, which is pretty cool. It's almost like some sculptures in a rocket ship. This Sadie Hennessy has got all these, and it's got "I wish my wife was this dirty." You know, it's got some. I don't know if this Tom guy, is screening of everything. Why? Because there's all kinds of different, interesting. I mean, I think this is a great exhibition. It's just full of amazing exhibitors and exhibits, really. So, and then we've got this Murney guy, 53. I mean, I could go through all these pictures, but I mean, there's so much interesting. There's so much. No one's been on that plastic shell oil thing yet. I think it's a 3D print. That. Where's that number? Oh, 53. Sorry. This Murney, who's done this kind of like police officer grabbing this girl, probably a rapist, climate activist without face. This is quite funny. This is Murney's website. Prince Andrew is sweaty nonce. I'm a homophobic, the Pope. And, you know, so there's some, you know, like Prince Andrew is a nonce and so much on here. Absolute shit show. Prince Andrew is a sweaty nonce. So I don't know that the guy who owns the website, who owns this auction collective, said some stuff weren't appropriate or whatever. But yeah, he's got links to things like, let's say, Prince Andrew is a nonce. So I'm really disappointed. Just the vibe of now, I don't know, you know, this looks like it could have been the Anonymous who submitted this, because it looks like the sort of thing that an Anonymous would do. Victor Schwarberg, do nothing. Victor Schwarberg, I actually searched his name and went on his website. It looks all right, but it could possibly be some sort of throw up art site. So who's that? There was another artist in this, and was it number 15 actually? Can't remember. Has this got a wet? There was some music. I ended up finding some sort of band. There's someone in this who's got a music group or band based in Sheffield, and it's actually quite good music. They're on Bandcamp, and that was quite cool. But they're getting publicity and promo from it. We're not. The woman basically the woman whose painting I showed you of the wind turbines, right? So her picture that got removed, when there's really not really any reason why a picture should have been removed. I quite like this. This is a bit sad and upsetting. It's a beautiful picture. Someone's actually bid on it now. but no one had bid on that. There's only 14 hours, 17 minutes left. It's a bit sad and upsetting, that picture. So the lady who has had her thing removed, she actually meant to have known someone who was organising this. And apparently a lot of people were meant to have been miffed off about their things being removed and the lack of organisation. And they were going to have a meeting, but then apparently the meeting never happened. And then the person that she knew, a contact, stopped contacting her. So there's just been, I've never got any replies from emails from this auction collective. They've never replied to any emails to me. I only managed to get to speak to the guy on the phone. The whole thing, it's just got there were no emails from Just Stop Oil. A lot of their communications turned off on YouTube. They never really reply. Lots of, builders and other worksmen throw comments at them on the Facebook page where you can comment, but they never reply when you try to speak to them. I've never got to talk to them ever. There's just complete total lack of communication. I don't know what's happening at the moment. I tried to contact Jeff Buys Cars. He did contact me and say that my email got put into the spam, but he commented on a video and said, get in touch with me. I don't know whether it's the people who are just too busy or whether the vibe I get from it is that someone's intervening and sort of shaping it and changing it. I was lucky to even get into this. I am in the exhibition. Actually, I've got a piece in that someone's actually bidding on now. It's got OK bids on it. But other than that, just the whole organisation behind it and getting things sorted out, it could have been better. And it's a shame, really, because there's some I would have liked some of my other pieces to have been in, and I would like to have seen all the pieces that were entered, particularly all the ones that go up to, it was meant to go up to 128, but yeah, it only goes up to 93, and then some of the links aren't working, and this is what's happening in the Labour Party, things or people are getting omitted. But the thing is, this is for a political cause, a political campaign. This auction is actually for a political cause and it's for a political campaign. And on that basis, really, you're raising money for a charity and really it should fall under 5013C, under illegal campaign intervention, because really this auction collective person, no matter what rules he's got on his private website, it does run under different law than a normal auction. You're not meant, because he's actually censoring people. These people are submitting artwork to make a statement for a political cause, for Just Stop Oil. And each picture is a statement and so forth. So having it removed it's almost like the police jumping on Republic, when Republic turned up, at Charles's coronation, and then, apparently the police apologised afterwards and said they shouldn't really have taken the things down because it was all reported beforehand. Republic had booked in, they'd arranged with the police that they were going to attend the Charles event, and it was all put through, and then the police who turned up said they hadn't been told, which there's some internal communication issues going on there. We're being manipulated and odd things are happening. I don't know whether it's hackers, I don't know who it's coming from or where, but this is what's happening in politics on YouTube and on Twitter when people have got official campaign channels, or they're running petitions or doing public consultations or whichever. When you're engaged in democratic process, it's not supposed to be intervened in, because it's actually got more protection than business. But what's happening now, even the fact of all these big companies lobbying the government and bringing these independent court actions against governments is just, the whole concept of it is just ridiculous. Why are the public, when all these companies now are suing the government because they might harm future profits, governments are meant to run countries to say who can make profits and what profits they can make, and even if they can have a company or not suing them for harming their profits. It's almost like the companies only exist because the government created Companies House and allowed them to form companies. So it's just got to a ridiculous state now. If Companies House doesn't exist, you can't register and have a company, right? So companies are governed by governments. So they're lucky that they were even allowed to form governments and even be allowed to trade, let alone possible future profits. They're lucky they get any profits. They're lucky they're allowed to have profits and even do business. And the amount of the things they've been selling, like all these toxic foods, they should be imprisoned, let alone fined. Now, where is the public taking the government to court for failing to represent our political rights? Why aren't big groups of people taking the government to court for the petitions committee rejecting petitions that could have been submitted? Because really, the petitions committee are keeping petitions out by their claim standards, just like certain paintings are being kept out of here for their claim standards. Yet, when you look at the law, actually, it's only elections that can't have attached evidence. You can have facts attached to elections, but not evidence. The right to petition the government to bring a case to either Houses of Parliament or the King, you can attach evidence, and you've got the right to. And in the Tumultuous Petitioning Act, he existed even before the right to petition. The right to petition is there to protect you from intervention, prosecutions, and people omitting or intervening, basically like 503C. So when this auction collective is intervening in this art auction, it is ridiculous. I mean, the name of it, art intervention, is just taking the mick itself. It has been an art intervention. What you see, I'm just sick of channels like Russell Brand that are literally making millions and claim, every day they're saying, oh, we're for the people, we're for the people, we're for the people, we're here to liberate you, we're here to free you. But when do these people once open their mouths and say, oh, why didn't everyone come together, get yourselves together and, take some actions against the petition committee? They were omitting things that, could have been published, or, why aren't the government, when we're petitioning Parliament, why aren't our MPs helping us get our channels back up to enforce, 5013C style rules, which YouTube actually publish on their own site, but apparently doesn't even only apply to non-profits, it applies to everyone. No one's actually helping us. And it's because these big companies have got a hell of a lot of money, they can just pay lawyers to represent their interests. We've got these voluntary lawyers, Black Belt Barrister and Coach House Chambers, popping up on YouTube, giving advice this way and that way, but I'm not too sure whether or not it's the advice that we want or need. We've got a severe lack of people helping. I mean, this Good Law project with Joylan Morham is questionable. I mean, why is Morham not helping us out with all this illegal campaign intervention angle, and with the Tumultuous Petitioning Act and the other acts and so forth, and the Petitions Committee and oversights like 38 Degrees that are taking people's petitions down when they shouldn't do and so forth? It's just not on. So I mean, it's great that this exhibition's on, and it's an amazing bit of work, but there's just people have been removed, cancelled, or obstructed for no reason at all, or the links aren't working, or they haven't put their links, and certain information has been censored out. It's just ridiculous.